People think it's easy. Has it been easy what you've done?
It's not easy, but at the same time, it is easy because you surround yourself with the right people, you can accomplish anything. I here hanging out with you in your business at LB Capital, and I've been able to meet your team here, and I've worked closely with you and with Bill for years now, and you're surrounded by the right people, and you're seeing tremendous success because of it, right?
Oh, but it's still not what people think.
Yeah.
You have great people, but those great people are working hard too. They have stresses.
You're one of those leaders that is willing to do whatever it takes. You're up at crack of dawn, even before dawn, making sure things are getting done.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to. I'm here with Dustin today. We had a great conversation. Make sure you subscribe and never miss an episode. Stay up to date with all your roofing and home services insights to grow your business. Welcome to the Roofing CEO Playbook podcast. Build it to sell it. We're here to cut through the noise, all the rhetoric, to show you how to build your roofing business, make it profitable, where you make a boat ton of money, and the cherry on top, when you're ready to sell, you can sell to a private equity firm and change your family's life. I have Dustin Van Orman, the president of business development of Any Hour Services in Salt Lake City, doing over $100 million a year. Started out as a service tech in the car. Now he's handled all their M&A. I think it's over 20 different M&A, correct?
Correct. Right now we're in 30 locations. We've got 24 different brands.
2040. Well, first of all, thank you for being here.
Oh, glad to be here. This is fun. Fun to be in your town.
Drove all the way from Salt Lake City just to see me. Drove. He's like, I got to drive. Take this ride. Now he drove. Tell him why you drove. It's pretty cool. Thank your son for your service, first of all.
So, yeah, my son here, he's stationed in Washington, D.C. He's decided when he turned 18, it was interesting. We sat down and had a conversation, and he was trying to figure out what to do with his life. And he said, well, Dad, should I go to college? Should I do this? Should I do that? And he didn't even think about it. He said, well, son, you could actually consider the military as well. He's like, really? You'd be okay with that? I said, you know what? We'd be honored if you chose to serve in the armed forces. It's something we're very proud of. So, yeah, he's stationed here in Washington, D.C. He's working as a Marine security guard, and we're excited to see what his career looks like. But he wanted a vehicle. And I said, well, why don't we just fly out there and help you get a vehicle in D.C.? And he's like, no, Dad, can you just pick one and get it out here? And I said, oh, okay. So I picked him a vehicle. We got a great thing for him to use. And then I said, all right, I'll ship it out there. And then my wife's like, no, we're not shipping it out there. We're driving it out there. I'm like, you know how far that is, right? So it's a little over 30 hours. And so we drove all weekend long, and here we are.
Well, I appreciate you being here. So, Dustin, tell everybody your backstory. Well, tell them what you do now currently, because I think it's fascinating what you do. It's not easy what you do, and you definitely are the right guy for the job because you have a great personality and people love you.
I appreciate that. I don't know if they love me, but I think we get along all right?
Seems like they do.
So what I'm doing now is I work with people to understand the experience they can have by being a part of the team at Any Hour Services, Any Hour Group, and it would help to have a little history on that. So I'll back up just a little bit, but I started with Any Hour Services. It was July 1st, 2011, almost 14 years ago. And like you were saying, I jumped in a truck and I went and ran service calls. And we didn't just run service calls. We went and we diagnosed the calls. We gave them options for replacement. If they chose replacement, we called dispatch and said, hey, can you postpone the calls for a little while? I'm going to go and do this install. So we did all our own installs, right? It wasn't super efficient. So we had to develop our business to where the bigger you get, the stronger you can be as a business. You can specialize.
Absolutely.
And so we built the business. We started to establish a team in the different areas of the service we were running to where you didn't have to do your own installs. Anyway, we did whatever it took. We worked hard and we surrounded ourselves with great people. And that's key to your growth, is surrounding yourself with the right people. After a short amount of time, I was asked to come and help build the marketing program with Any Hour Services. So I'd ran the marketing in the business from the time we were $6 million to $18 million. At $18 million, they saw a need to work on the sales team. So I ran the HVAC sales team from $18 million to $36 million. And at 36 million, believe it or not, Wyatt, if you're familiar with Wyatt in the business, Wyatt is the principal founder of the business. And he was running the recruiting as the owner operator in the business until we were 36 million in revenue. I know a lot of people, they'll come to us and ask us, well, what do you do for recruiting? Because, well, that's a whole nother podcast where you talk about
No
recruiting,
doubt.
right? But up until 36 million, Wyatt was earning the recruiting. Then he asked me to come in and help develop that program. And I ran that clear till we were, call it 75 million as a business. And then I moved into this new position where I've been involved in all the partnerships that have joined Any Hour Services, Any Hour Group. So right now we're in 30 locations. We have 24 different brands. As a group, we'll do about 500 million in revenue right now. And we're looking for more people all the time. So pretty awesome experience I've been through here.
Is it so? People, we were just talking, and let's just get down to it, right? People see what they see on social media and all the nonsense, and people think it's easy. Has it been easy what you've done?
Has it been easy? Not even a little bit. Yeah, let me change that answer just a little bit. It's not easy, but at the same time, it is easy because you surround yourself with the right people, you can accomplish anything. I here hanging out with you in your business at LB Capital, and I've been able to meet your team here, and I've worked closely with you and with Bill for years now, and you're surrounded by the right people, and you're seeing tremendous success because of it, right?
Oh, but it's still not what people think.
Yeah.
You have great people, but those great people are working hard too. They have stresses.
You do.
You know, I said to you, I was telling you the story about the guy that called one of my guys, said, I'm going to roofing because I see all the success Lance is having. What time did you get a text from me this morning, Dustin?
4:03 a.m.
4:03 a.m. How many other people text you at 4 o'clock?
Not many. It's interesting, though. The one other person that does is Wyatt.
There you go.
And that says a lot.
I mean,
right?
You're
You're one of those leaders that is willing to do whatever it takes. You're up crack of dawn, even before dawn, making sure things are getting done.
and that's what people don't see. They only see the social media. They see the podcast. They see the BS vehicle, the hat, like whatever shiny object they see, they think it was easy to get there. And I know what you guys have done to do 500 million.
Yeah.
You might have fun at times, but it ain't easy.
No, we have fun all the time, but having fun means that you're enjoying the work experience.
Without a doubt.
Right? We're not goofing off all the time.
You know, let's talk about, why do you think, because we were just talking, you know, full transparency. Me and Dustin know each other for years. I consider you a friend. You've always been good to me. And Any Hour is not in roofing. And I said to you, you should, I've told you multiple times, you guys should get into roofing. You guys run a great organization. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't. And you said you're not sure if you guys are going to. But you said something I found interesting. Roofing has never really been looked at home services prior, you said to me. And I said to you, well, private equity's coming in like you've never seen before. And you said, yeah. Can you explain to people why you thought HVAC, plumbing, electrical made sense, but now you're starting to see roofing might make sense too now?
Well, step back a little bit. I didn't know that private equity was going to be a thing in any of the services years ago. But they've seen the sustainability of our business. They've seen that in a hard economy, people still have to get stuff fixed.
No doubt.
They've seen that when, for example, the COVID crisis that we went through in the world here, we grew. We didn't go backwards because we're a necessary service. People need us.
Everybody grew then.
That's right, right? And so why do they have their eye on us? Well, those are the reasons why. The margins are good. If you're like me, and I know you are, we like working in that blue-collar work environment. The people are good. I mean, these are my people here. They've seen that it's a solid market to be in. And, you know, you talk about, your question was about roofing versus plumbing, electric, and HVAC. Well, to me, it always felt like plumbing, electric, and HVAC, that was the trades, right?
Yes.
Those were the main, they were considered the trades. Roofing and some of these other industries have moved in now, and it feels like it's just all the trades now, right? Roofing used to kind of, I don't know if I'm going in the right direction here, but in my mind, it was plumbing, HVAC, and electric, but now it feels like roofing's moving into that group as well.
Well, I think people looked down on roofing up until last year or two. I got into roofing. People thought I was crazy. People were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I see it pretty clear.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like this is Dave Geiger, Ken, all those guys 30 years ago when probably people were looking at them like they're nuts. What are you doing?
Here's the reason why maybe I didn't consider it as part of that grouping is because in my mind, you put a roof on and you don't touch it for 30 years.
That's false.
It is false. I've discovered that now, but up until not that long ago, HVAC, you're going in every single year for maintenance, and plumbing, you're in every couple of years for whatever. And electric was harder because you weren't in there quite as often. But in my mind, my perception was that you're only on the roof once every 30 years. No. And that's false, right?
Average roof gets replaced almost every 12 to 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get the roof, most people have some type of siding or stucco. We don't do stucco in any of our locations, but siding or stucco, which, siding is very huge, hardy. Then windows and doors, which make up a very small percent of any of our sales anywhere, but we are going to add that in and grow that side too.
Yeah.
So if you really think about it, if you can do the roof, right? I do believe this is going to be the ultimate what happens. I do believe this is where it will go. Roofing, HVAC, windows, doors, plumbing, electrical will all be owned by a Bain Capital or one. Yeah. Like they're just going to say, okay, listen, because you got to think about this, right? Green Sky's already doing it, right? They're getting into the home services through their own, right? They're looking to build their own. They already have an HVAC platform. Now they're saying, okay, and think about what Green Sky has. They have all the data of everyone's ever applied for a loan. And they also own a mortgage company. I don't know if you know that. So, so that PE firm themselves, it's very easy for them to say, okay, let's go use this as lead generation. And we now email to the people that have our mortgages with us and say, hey, listen, this is who we recommend as our roofers, who we recommend as our HVAC people. If you use them, you get X amount off. And they automatically have them in their email list.
Yeah.
Because they're owned by the mortgage company. So I think you're going to see that at the top of the funnel happen eventually. Now, do you think people really care who owns the roofing company, the plumbing company, the electrical company? They want good quality service. Some of the comments I read about people saying online, because my build it to sell it, I believe every company should be built to sell, meaning that you're capable of selling your company, right? That don't mean you have to sell your company,
Correct.
Right?
Whether you do or you don't.
Some people said, well, this guy just doesn't get it's about the people and it's about taking care of the people in the community you want to be. And I'm like, these people can you explain by actually building your company and having it profitable that you actually are? Can you explain that? People think like if I run my company, I don't pay my taxes and I have the same 20 employees for 50 years, that's success. When I die, everybody loses their jobs.
Yeah, it's your moral obligation, your responsibility as an owner to build your business so that it's sustainable. You owe it to the people that have helped you find success. I mean, you've put on these hours and you've got, how many employees do you have right now, Lance?
Between everything, probably 500.
500 people. Any hour group has 2,000 plus.
Yeah.
There are 2,000 people, 500 people, and if you figure the average family is what, 4 people?
Yeah.
So if you got 500 people in your business, you're responsible for the livelihood of 2,000 people. They're relying on you to eat.
Yeah.
And if you built your business so that when you leave this world, because I don't care who you are, there's no way out other than, eventually you have to build your business so that these people are taken care of. It's your responsibility. Whether you retire and sail off into the Caribbean or, heaven forbid, we pass away, right? That's going to happen.
No doubt.
Yeah, those people, they're trusting you to create a livelihood that they can count on when you're not in the business anymore.
You get it. And being that you deal with the partnership side of things, do you mind if we talk about that, what you're looking for? Because as you know, we have multiple divisions here, I call them, but multiple partnerships we have. I just call them divisions. I think it's from my corporate background, but I guess partnerships is the better word to say it, right? Yeah. We have multiple partnerships. You have them. Talk to us through the journey of when because not everyone is going to be an any hour partner and not anyone's going to be an LP Capital. You want the right partners. We just had this discussion. The quickest way to stop your growth is have a division or two, a partner or two that's not growing. And that's going to become your focus is trying to turn that around, which obviously stops you from growing. What's your process look like? Because anyone knows Any Hour is a great reputable company. It'd be an honor to be a partner of yours, right? So talk about that process for the people that are watching.
Well, it's my responsibility to go out and find great people to join the team. And there's a few things I'm looking for, but first and foremost, and before we ever even talk about financials of any kind, I'm going to insist on meeting people, having a real conversation. We're going to go eat dinner together, not because I want to show off and talk to you all about the NER group and how cool we are, but because I want to find out if we even like being around each other. Relationship is key to us, and the people that are joining the group, we're hoping to have a long-term relationship, partners in building the business, but also as investors together, because our success relies on each other. So first and foremost is relationships. Second thing for me is I want to find businesses that can benefit from the tools and resources that we can offer, but also that brings a level of intelligence and expertise to share with the rest of the group. So there's got to be some mutually beneficial contribution, right? And then third, the third thing we're looking for is it's got to be a financial win for everyone involved, right? And so if we can find alignment where first we're friends and there's a relationship, second, we know we can help each other, there's a level of contribution, and third, financially it's a win for everyone involved, we can typically find a pretty solid partnership. The other things we're looking for, if you want to dive into that more, is we want to understand your leadership team. You're building a business, and for those of you out there that are looking to long-term find a company to partner with, the things you should be building is the people around you, because whether you plan on staying in the business and working with a group or not, they're going to want to know that if for some reason you were removed from the business isn't going to crumble, right? And so for me, it's important to understand who your leadership team is, how cohesive are they as a team, and what's going to need to be, is there some missing pieces that we would need to fill in your leadership team if you were gone? So
I think people, when they partner, they think you're going to come in and just fire everyone and change everything right away. Can you talk about that? Because that's the furthest thing from the truth.
It is the furthest thing from the truth. But there's a reason why people have that perception, because they've all heard a story about somebody that had that happen, right?
I never have. No, I never heard where someone just came in and said, I'm terminating 75% of the staff and letting people go. I know people said it's happened, but have you ever truly heard and could verify that's ever happened?
I haven't gone in afterwards and really dialed in on who and how and what actually happened, but that's their perception. That's their reality, whether it's true or not, right?
I buy that. Okay, I
right?
can see that. Okay, yeah, okay.
But the reality is your business is interesting to us because you have a strong business, at least that's what we're trying to find. And we don't want to go into a business and replace managers. We don't want to go disrupt the business. We don't want the employees to leave, right?
They're the asset, I say.
That's correct. You're trying to find established, strong, well-running machines. Now, I've heard the stories, same as others. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But what I would say to that is you are choosing who you team up with. And if you're considering joining any private equity company or doing any type of a merger of any kind, you need to know who you're getting into business with. If all they want to do is look at your balance sheet and make a decision off of that, that might not be the best fit because you don't even know who they are yet. And so that's why, to me, the spending time together, we want to go to your business. We want you to come to ours. We want you to interview us and see if it's a good fit for your beliefs, for your company standards. We're trying to find alignment. And honestly, if you can find alignment with a business where you know that there's a strong team there to support you, as long as you don't just sell your business and walk away, they're not going to go in and disrupt. The goal is to keep it intact.
It's funny you said spend time with people through the process. So I'm always trying to give because I have such gratitude for my life. I feel like I've been the most blessed man. Like sometimes I got to pinch myself. Like, man, is this the life I have? Beautiful kids, wife, happy. I had levels of success, I think, that I'm very happy with. That makes sense.
Sure.
And I'm still striving to be better. But, last year when I said to Bill, we're going to do these masterminds, we started these masterminds. And the mastermind, first one I made free. And I said, we're going to do 10, 20 people, pull them together, and we're going to give them all of our knowledge of things I've learned from so many great people, just, from P&Ls to marketing, just everything that you take to run a business, from sales, leadership. 2 people showed up. But we gave like 20 tickets out, but no one showed up. And Bill kept saying, you can't do this shit, Lance. Like, this is how you lose money. I said, Bill, let's just give back. Trust me. It's going to come back and be tenfold on us. So Bill said, no, we're going to do $5,000 a person, Lance. Because people to spend 2 days with you will pay $5,000 easily. I was like, yeah, but Bill, you're not going to make money anyway by the time we give resources. I mean, you see the amount of money it costs around here for things.
You bet.
I said, so you lose money, Bill, either way. He's like, but I promise you, no one's going to miss when they put down $5,000. Our second mastermind was sold out. Every mastermind's been sold out. But guess how many people have ever missed a mastermind now that we charge $5,000?
Probably not any.
Not any. Not one person, right?
Yeah.
So that was like mind-boggling to me about people and time and getting to know people. But when I used to handle the partnerships for LB Capital, you know, people would just go to my calendar, put times on, 50% would show up, 50 wouldn't. I'd invite people here, they'd cancel, and I never charged to go through the process. So do you know who Christina Deere is from Zoom? She used to work for Ellen Rohr, right?
I do, yeah.
So she works here now. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we recruited her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we did. So she helped take them from 15 to 60. So she says, Lance, you got this all wrong. I go, what do you mean? She goes, you're not just going to go and talk to someone about being a partner with them and spend a half a day of your time. She's like, we're going to have a whole standard checklist, and they're going to come to a mastermind. And if they can invest $5,000 into their business, because they're going to get something out of it, we know that. Why would you partner with them? And like, it blew my mind. And she's like, Lance, if you partner with them, just hand them back their $5,000.
Yeah.
So just hand them back their $5,000. Here you go. I don't want your money, you're my partner. And I don't know how old she is, Kyle. Like, I asked that question, but I'm assuming she can't be more than 27, 28 years old. I'm like, here's a young woman that just taught me something about my own time, and it's worth. And guess how many people call and say, I want a partner, I want a partner, I want a partner, I want a partner.
You reminded me of participating in your conference recently.
Yeah, which I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, well, I loved it. I mean, I went there and I saw the engagement of the people who were there, and it was a true show of people's interest in the industry. You know, we're talking about roofing and its movement in the industry of private equity now. So I went to your conference, and people are hungry in roofing to participate and understand what you're offering and what you're bringing to the industry for people. They want to know what's going on, and you're really making a difference. But you know, you talk about people wanting to become partners. I watched at the end of the show where you talked about how you're not there to sell anything. You had no hook in the show. Your show is to give back. But then people almost wouldn't let you get off the stage because they want to know who to talk to and how to become a partner with your team. And yeah, you're really making a difference.
I've not met with one person to be their partner.
Yeah.
Because I just won't, because I had nothing to sell. If
Correct.
I was truly trying to sell something, I would have met with.
That's exactly what you said on stage, yeah.
And I haven't met with one, on my children's life, I've not met with one person to be their partner. And people have reached out to me, everything. I'm just like, guys, you got to go through the process of what Christina put out. And not being rude, it's just, I'm in no rush.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, no different than you. You're probably never going to retire. Like,
probably not.
And people say that, like, how could you say that, Lance? Like my kids, the best years of my kids' lives right now, your kids in the military, the Marines. I think you said you had a 16-year-old daughter and another daughter. Mm-hmm. Like, when your kids leave the house, if you don't work, I don't know what you do. So the best years of my lives, I got young children. It's here. So if I was going to retire, it would have happened. Right? So I can't see me and my wife. I love my wife to death. In 10 years, when my last kid's out of the house, just sitting around looking at each other like, what are we doing today? So, you know.
Probably not going to happen.
And that's where I think people don't realize when you're building something special, you want the right partners. And someone like you that had all your success, I mean, think about it, you guys are going to do $500 million. People don't realize how much revenue that is. 24 different brands, how many lives you guys have, 2,000 employees. Can you talk to me about the leadership? Because the one thing I noticed about all your top leadership is I never really see you guys drink. I never see you guys really, even at shows, go to parties. It reminds me very similar to how we operate here at LB Capital. Like, we go to conferences, everyone knows there's no drinking. You have 1-2 drinks max. And that's not being rude. I did the part. Like, I'm not throwing a stone at anyone. Listen, I was the guy that was drunk at 2 a.m, missing things, but you can't have success being that. Can you talk about your leadership and your team of leadership? And
that's what appealed to me when I joined the team. Before coming to NER, I was self-employed, and I'd experienced the stresses and challenges of running a business. And then I saw the opportunity to surround myself with like-minded people that really wanted to accomplish big things. So I joined the team, and then I look at the journey and some of the things that stand out with your question. One, the first week when I started at NER, we've always believed in personal development. One of our foundational books is Good to Great by Jim Collins. If you're familiar with that.
Yep.
Anyway, Wyatt, he said, hey, we're going to go on a little trip. Can you pack a bag when you come to work tomorrow? Told me the night before, right? That's just what we do. We get things done. I'd been there for 2 days maybe. And so we jumped in a truck. We pressed play on the CD player, and we drove all the way to Denver from Utah, 9-hour drive. And we listened to the book Good to Great, and we talked business the entire time. When we go out of town to a training, we don't participate in drinking and partying. Why? Because we're there to take it serious. We want to develop our business. That's our drive. That's our motivation. And so when training is done for the day, some of the most valuable conversations on an entire training conference is the conversations you have in the lobby after the conference is over, or the people you can meet. And so we take it serious. We're not out there to party. We're there to invest in ourselves. And that's what it takes to really grow.
Do you see that people, just speaking about conferences, what do you think of the roofing conference?
Fantastic. I hadn't been to a roofing conference before. I've been to lots of other trade conferences, but to see the level of participation and the interest that the people had there, I don't know how many people you had there. There had to have been about 1,000.
800.
It was impactful.
Yeah.
I talked to a lot of the different people that were attending and heard the feedback, and all positive. My personal experience was top-notch. I think that it was structured and organized. You had well thought out presenters. They were prepared. Things had good flow, lots of energy. Vendors that were there. I mean, you go to these conferences and you didn't just let people pay to be a sponsor. You hand selected the people that were there offering tools to the roofing industry because you know that it's going to affect people's businesses. And so the vendors, I could tell, were hand selected and who you'd even let be there. And so the tools were amazing.
We picked, so we only did 60 partners, and we're only doing 60 again this year. It was close to 100 people offered to pay, and we just said no. We had our 60, and we felt like it was the best 60 that was going to have impact on the roofing space that we felt. And listen, we're not perfect, right? We probably left a few people out we shouldn't have. Yeah. But that's who we limited to, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to have people that, listen, the partners are there to sell you something. Yeah. But I'm going to say of the 60 partners, we probably use between one of my roofing companies or another, probably 30 of them, 25, realistically. So we knew the products worked.
Sure.
So like that was big to us. Like we didn't want to have a partner there that we couldn't at least say anything about.
And all that being said, what that shows me is that you care about investing in the people in the roofing industry. It's not about making a buck off of them. It's about providing a service. Your conference really provided a service for people to come and be edified, to learn and to make themselves better and their businesses better.
We lost money on the conference. We're hoping not to this year, but we actually lost money. And we said at the bill, like, it's okay because you can't win at everything. Yeah. But we feel like we won with the product we gave. We just lost financially, which I think over time, you're not there to make money on the conference. You can break even on the conference. And people are like, you got to have something to sell. I'm like, but I really don't because I don't have a coaching group. And if you think a mastermind 4 times a year is something that you're selling, I couldn't sell that out without the conference. I think you're delusional.
So I've heard several people now say they lose money on the conference. I've decided I'm not going into the conference business.
You will lose. You will. And I think why you lose money, people don't realize how much. You know, I was at a wrestling tournament, Tyrant, and I'm friends with the guy, Corey. And the guy next to me said to me, he must make $200,000 off of this event. We were just here this weekend. Yeah. And I started, like, Corey's one of my very good friends. I know him. I just started laughing. I'm like, what do you think? Like, you pay, a team pays $1,000. There's probably 50 teams in the whole thing, right? So that's 50 grand. Yeah. You pay $50 for 2 days to get in, right? There's probably whatever. So the total takes probably 50, 60. what do you think to rent this gym is, to pay all these employees, insurance, he might have made for that whole weekend, which he takes a whole week to build, set up, few days, logistics. People don't see all the back shit. He probably made on that tournament. I'm not here counting his money. I don't want to be disrespectful. Probably 10 to 20% net on the whole entire thing. And people don't understand that.
Yeah. And that's what's neat, though, is you're doing this event, and you're going to do it again.
We are.
Have you picked the dates already?
We are. Same exact dates as last year, back in Marco Island. I can say that we haven't released it yet, but by the time this airs, hopefully it will be. But yeah, we're doing the same. We thought the location was great.
Fantastic.
We thought it was a great location. We thought it was we felt like it was easy for people to stay there, stay at the hotel next door, and get to the conference and back, and not have to jump in cars. And some of the biggest complaint we got was there was nothing off-site. But my thing is if you want a conference to go to a nice dinner, don't come to my conference. Yeah. That's not what we're here to learn. We're here to build your business. And if you want to go eat at Ruth Chris Steak, I'm not being rude. You can do that, but I have your mentality of it's a business trip.
That's right. I thought your venue was top-notch. The conference was top-notch. The participation, the people, it was really good.
Yeah, I don't know why people wanted to go off-site, but a few people said that, correct? Hey, we want to go off-site.
What's the reason they're there for? They're there for different entertainment.
I feel like that's it.
Yeah, it's not. We're not there to entertain you. We're there to work hard and build together, and that's what you accomplished.
People look at you and they look at the success you had. And I believe your success would translate, because you were in the concrete business before this. I believe your success would be in anything you did. What makes you, do you think, different as a leader compared to most people that, unless you're a leadership team, let's put it that way, because your leadership team is very solid, compared to other leadership teams that never get off the ground? Could you give me, because people probably, I think that's a good question to ask.
It is. I think you could tie this into our conversation about your conference and investing in yourself. There's leadership ability in everybody. If you have kids, you've got to be a leader to your kids. If you're in scouts or church or this or whatever, there's so many things in life where you have opportunity to be a leader. When you're put into a position that has the potential to lead, what are you doing to be that leader? Are you just taking a management role? Because there's a difference between a manager and a leader.
Absolutely.
I know as a business at any hour, we invest in our managers to help them develop into being great leaders. And you can tell, you can see their progression. You're not just going to be born to lead. You need to nurture that ability. Everyone has some leadership ability in them, and you either are investing in yourself to develop that, or you're surrounding yourself with people that might invest in you. But people come to our business all the time. I have 200-300 businesses per year come to Any Hour Services to see how we're growing as a business. And they're there because they want to, I'll call it steal. Now, you hear people talk about rob and duplicate.
Yeah.
People are willing to share with you. I think that might be the wrong way to look at things. If people are offering you a shop tour, for example, go there and learn and innovate, right? Take the knowledge people are giving to you and learn and innovate. And so people come to our business trying to learn ideas to take home to their business. And I'll get asked regularly, well, what's the silver bullet in your business? And it's really easy to say it's the people, and it is. But if you look at the processes, just everything involved in running a business, the culture, all those things, all of that is the people, but it's a level deeper than that. It's the leadership. Leadership is what holds the culture, the processes, and everything in that business together. And so where should you invest your time as an owner in the business? Well, it's in leadership development, because that's what's holding it all together. That's the silver bullet, is what are you doing to develop your leaders?
We were talking earlier, and we were talking about struggling divisions, struggling partners. And I said to you, it's the same thing everywhere I look. It comes down to that leader. Exactly. Was that our conversation an hour and a half ago?
Yeah.
It comes down to that leader isn't performing. That leader doesn't want to do it. That leader just thought he was going to partner and it was going to be easy street. My last question to you is this. If you had a struggling partner in one of your divisions, what would you say to them?
What would I say to them?
Yeah, because right now there's people out there saying, man, my partner's struggling. I'm struggling. I got to figure this out.
this may sound harsh, but honestly, I'd say get in or get out. You know, if they're not getting out of the way so we can build the business successfully, like we talked about, there's thousands of people counting on us for their livelihood and to feed their kids. And if you're thinking you're going to come join a business like ours and just take a free ride and be in the way, that's not going to work for us. And so for people that are in our business, we want to be invested in it, and we want people to come be on the journey with us. And it's okay to get out, right? If people want to join our team and get out of the way and just stand on the sidelines and watch, that's fine, but don't stand in our way. So that's it. It's either get into the business and engage and apply yourself, or get out of the way so we can make sure things happen for those people that are counting on it. Yeah.
Dustin, thank you so much for taking the ride out here. I appreciate it.
You bet.
You're the best. Thank you. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to.